I made some changes after I watched Julia serving to the game myself.
Yeah, just from studying.
And I see there are videos of me on my you understand, you're an athlete, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, I was. Yeah.
But you understand mechanics.
Yes.
So what I see in Caitlin Clark's jump shot, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-step jump shot. And the way she skips into it, I can really appreciate. I'm the first.
Pay attention to his hands in that moment. This isn't a random Hoops fan casually analyzing clips. This is a 56-year lifer of the sport, raised on West Philly courts, a player Kobe Bryant himself once studied, breaking down what truly separates Caitlin Clark's shooting form from everyone else at the pro level. And what he's about to explain runs much deeper than most people understand. Because when Caitlin Clark rises from nearly 30 feet as if it's a routine layup, a very precise chain of movements unfolds in roughly 8 seconds, one that only a few shooters in basketball history have ever perfected. It's a two-step jumper with a subtle skip load that looks effortless, almost like it defies physics.
Only a few people I've ever seen to do it and really get it right.
Right.
Durant tries it, but doesn't look smooth as when Kobe Bryant does it, or the way Peja Stojakovic used to do it. But Caitlin Clark does it so smoothly. I'm talking about where there's a little skip right before her feet plant.
Yeah.
And she brings the ball here, and it's here before her feet actually leave the ground. And it's a two-step motion with a gooseneck release. Kobe Bryant, there's only a few people in history that can really get that two-step jump shot with the your feet are off to the left a little bit. Sometimes.
There it is, the two-step sequence paired with that classic high arc follow-through. And notice what just happened. Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant were mentioned in the same sentence as Caitlin Clark, and that is an exaggeration. That's tape analysis speaking. When you slow the footage down and study it frame by frame, only a small handful of players in the modern game can pull off this exact footwork pattern while making it look natural. Durant attempts it, but the cadence isn't quite as clean. The timing feels a touch disrupted. With Kobe, it was pure art, every motion flowing effortlessly into the next. And with Caitlin Clark, she's executing it.
Paying attention, and her skill set is like no other. I've argued with people about A'ja Wilson, and because everybody calls her the best in the league.
Right.
There's no way possible that she has anywhere near the skill set Clark has. And the way they defend Clark automatically.
This is where the breakdown turns deeply technical, as he points out how her right foot touches down ahead of the left, the angled stance of her base, and the fact that she can release the ball from multiple launch points. These are not small quirks or cosmetic details. They are the precise biomechanical edges that let Clark elevate and score over defenders who are longer, quicker, and exploding higher than she does. Pay attention to the contrast he draws with A'ja Wilson. Wilson, the reigning 2024 WNBA MVP, is an overwhelming interior force and arguably the league's most complete player, but her excellence comes from a different toolbox. She dominates near the basket through strength, positioning, and elite finishing touch. Clark, by contrast, lives in open floor and deep space, manufacturing offense from 35 feet, bending defenses with her handle court vision, and the exact shooting form being analyzed here. You cannot scheme against them the same way. Clark's unique mechanics force coaches to scrap traditional coverages and build entirely different defensive game plans just to survive her presence on the floor.
She's getting the ball. She's going to do a 1-2 step, okay? This is what that guy was talking about, okay? A little fake, 1-2, bang, bang, and then shoot it, okay? That's the 1-2 step. This not necessarily exactly what he was talking about, but it's a part of what he was talking about. I just kind of want to break it down because her actual 1-2 hop step is kind of a rare thing a little bit. So no matter if it's off the dribble or a standstill jump shot, that is what this is. That's when somebody pass you the ball, you don't do anything but pull it, okay? That is a standstill jump shot. Mechanics are still there, all right? This is the 1-2. She had the 1-2. She did the 1. She caught the ball on the 1. The 2 is coming, okay? Right here, the 2 is coming. Once that 2 come, boom. She pulling up in the same mechanics. Right at the shot pocket, coming up, flicking the wrist.
All right, so Caitlin receives the ball and immediately flows into a 1-2 sequence. This is exactly the concept that analyst was pointing out. She adds a subtle hesitation, then it's 1-2 quick, and straight into the release. That's the 1-2 rhythm. It may not be the purest example of what he was describing, but it clearly fits within that framework. I want to pause here and really unpack it because her true 1-2 hop timing is actually pretty uncommon. Whether she's creating off the bounce or rising up without a dribble, the foundation stays the same. When the pass comes and she shoots without any extra movement, that's a stationary jumper, but the mechanics don't change. You see the first step as she secures the catch, then the second step loads immediately after. Right there, the second step arrives, and the moment it hits, she elevates in one smooth motion. The ball is already in the shooting pocket, the motion carries upward, the wrist snaps cleanly, and the shot drops through the net.
Go another one. 1-2. You saw that? She caught it. 1-2, then pull it. Okay? So this is a part of what he's talking about. We're going to get into exactly what he's talking about, though. And as you can see, remember he brought up that right leg lands in front of the other leg. That's this right here. That's what you're seeing. You see that right leg in front of this? And it's because she's slanted. That elbow is lined up with the rim, okay? And we're going to talk about the elbow, where the hand placement is. We're going to talk about all that. Here go another one. Little fake. 1-2. Popping. Okay, so right here, this is what he's talking about. Now, this is more so on the hop, but she kind of add the 1-2 into it.
All right, so Caitlin receives the ball and immediately flows into a 1-2 sequence. This is exactly the concept that analyst was pointing out. She adds a subtle hesitation, then it's 1-2 quick, and straight into the release. That's the 1-2 rhythm. It may not be the purest example of what he was describing, but it clearly fits within that framework. I want to pause here and really unpack it because her true 1-2 hop timing is actually pretty uncommon. Whether she's creating off the bounce or rising up without a dribble, the foundation stays the same. When the pass comes and she shoots without any extra movement, that's a stationary jumper, but the mechanics don't change. You see the first step as she secures the catch, then the second step loads immediately after. Right there, the second step arrives, and the moment it hits, she elevates in one smooth motion. The ball is already in the shooting pocket, the motion carries upward, the wrist snaps cleanly, and the shot drops through the net.
So watch this. She's crossing over. Watch the legs. 1, 2, and I hop with it. Okay? This is what he's talking about. And it's real smooth. It's a small thing on the mechanics, but it's real smooth. Okay, this is a simple hop. Hop over, boom. She kind of did it again off the pass, but knockdown, boom, off the hop. Off the one hop. Now check this one. 1-2, come back. She did it again right there. It's like a 1-2 and then hop. It's a rare little move that she's doing, man. It's really smooth how she's doing it. Like you almost think she's traveling the way she's doing it, but she's not. A little crossover. See, that's a hop.
All right, now we're diving into the detailed analysis. And this is where many viewers' eyes tune out. But stick with me because grasping this 1-2 movement is the key to knowing how Caitlin Clark can rise up from anywhere on the floor with defenders hanging all over her. Watch that action again. Catch, 1-2, hop. It's not a typical hop like Damian Lillard or Stephen Curry off the bounce. It's not a basic gather-then leap. There's an added rhythm beat inside it that builds space and moves her into her shot pocket quicker than defenders can respond. That's why you notice her finding open windows, even when she's supposedly smothered. The feint before the 1-2 matters. 2. It locks defenders for a brief moment, just enough time for her to slide into that footwork pattern. And since the ball is already lifting toward her set point during the hop, not afterward, she's letting it go a full tenth of a second quicker than shooters who raise the ball up after they jump. In hoops, a tenth of a second is the gap between a clear look and a swatted away shot. You all noticed the contrast, and now this moves into the true biomechanics. Angled foot placement, shooting elbows stacked with the rim, right foot stepping slightly ahead of the left. None of this happens by accident. This is deliberate efficiency. When the feet are turned slightly away from the shooting side, two key things occur. First, the hips open more easily, allowing faster rotation into the shooting pocket. Second, that angle naturally lines up the shooting shoulder, elbow, and wrist directly toward the basket. That alignment is critical. When feet are squared and the elbow flares outward, the body is forced to fight itself to deliver the ball, recruiting extra muscles, adding unnecessary motion, and losing precious time. With Clark's angled stance, she can receive the ball on the left side of her frame and raise it straight into her release without any wasted side-to-side movement. Watch Stephen Curry on catch-and-shoot attempts, and you'll see the same setup. Kevin Durant does it. Kobe Bryant did it. That's not coincidence, it's biomechanics. And the right foot landing forward is simply a natural consequence of that angle. Once the feet turn, the body instinctively steps through with the lead leg. And for right-handed shooters, that lead leg is the right one. It creates a solid base and helps her stay balanced even on off-balance attempts. When Clark is sliding from left to right, that front leg acts like an anchor, keeping her center of gravity steady even while she's moving laterally. Here's what separates good shooters from elite shooters. Good shooters need their legs planted, balanced, and time to complete their full motion. Elite shooters can fire off balance, off rhythm with a hand in their face, and still keep their core mechanics intact. Clark's low release point is a perfect example of that. Most casual fans assume you need to jump high to shoot over defenders, but that's actually backwards. If your shot requires elevation, you're in trouble in the fourth quarter after 35 minutes of play. Your legs are tired, you can't jump as high, and your shot starts falling short. Clark shoots from a relatively low jump, maybe 8 to 10 inches off the ground. Steph Curry does the same. They're not trying to outjump defenders. They're trying to stay consistent. When your release point stays low and your mechanics are reliable, you can hit the same shot in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. Your legs stop being a factor. The shot becomes purely rhythm and touch. And now, the shot pocket. This is the place you bring the ball before you lift it to your set point. For Clark, it sits low and to the right side of her body. For Steph, it's comparable. And for Kevin Durant, the pocket sits slightly higher but still off to the side. The crucial part is getting the ball into that pocket immediately after the catch or the dribble. The quicker you reach it, the quicker you can launch. When Clark receives the pass on the left and her feet are already angled right, the ball only has to travel about 14 inches to reach her shot pocket. If she were squared up, that distance would be 20 inches or more across her body, 6 extra inches of movement that translate into roughly 0.15 seconds of delay. That may sound minor, but in basketball, it's the difference between a clean look and a defender closing out. Now, elbow alignment matters too. When the elbow is directly beneath the ball and pointing toward the rim, you create a straight channel from shoulder to wrist, which is the most efficient path for power transfer. Any deviation, like a chicken wing elbow or an elbow tucked too far in, forces the wrist or guide hand to compensate, adding inconsistency. Clark's elbow stays tight enough to maintain a clean line without feeling rigid, because her feet are angled and her shoulders already rotate toward the basket. That alignment happens naturally without forcing it. Her guide hand is another detail many miss. It sits high on the ball, almost to the side, not under it pushing the shot. It's only there to stabilize. The The real shooting motion comes from her right hand, and her left hand drops away at the exact release moment. You can see it in slow motion. The ball leaves her right hand while her left is already moving away. That's textbook. If the guide hand stays too long, you add unwanted spin or torque. If it leaves too soon, you lose control. Clark's timing is flawless, and that kind of precision isn't built in a day. It comes from years of repetition and constant adjustment. Now, about the gooseneck release. That's when the wrist is fully cocked back at the set point, forming a curve like a goose's neck. At release, she snaps the wrist forward and follows through. That wrist position creates more backspin, which gives the ball better touch on the rim. Shots with solid backspin are more forgiving. They can hit the back of the rim and still fall. Shots with side spin or no spin bounce out. Clark's release consistently produces tight, backward rotation every time, which is why her deep shooting stays elite even on attempts most coaches would label as low quality. The multiple release points he mentioned are also crucial. Clark doesn't rely on a single release point. She can fire from a higher release when she has space, switch to a quicker release when she's being pressured, or pull up off the dribble with a lower release to get the shot off faster. That flexibility makes her nearly impossible to defend. Opponents can't just predict one timing and jump. They have to adjust to what she's doing in the moment. And by the time they react, the shot is already gone. Compare that to Aya Wilson, who was mentioned earlier. She's a dominant force, the MVP, and one of the league's best, but her game is fundamentally different. Wilson plays inside, relying on post moves, positioning, and touch around the rim, not generating offense from 30 feet out with ball handling and elite shooting mechanics. That's not a criticism of Wilson. It's simply a different style of play. When you assess pure shot creation, pure skill, and pure shooting mechanics, Caitlin Clark is operating at a level that is uncommon in any league. The way defenses must guard her, stretching out to half court and sending doubles 35 feet from the basket, changes everything on the floor. That's the effect of elite mechanics combined with deep range and the confidence to use it. So the real question becomes, can you teach these mechanics, or are they something you're born with? The truth is it's a mix. The footwork, elbow positioning, and shot pocket can be coached and practiced, but the rhythm, timing, and instinct for when to use the 1-2 hop versus the standard hop, that's feel. That comes from thousands of hours of repetition until it becomes automatic. Caitlin Clark didn't suddenly become this shooter overnight. She's been building this since she was young, and now in her rookie WNBA season, the results are obvious. She isn't just a strong shooter. She's an elite one with mechanics that put her in the same conversation as the greatest shooters ever. If you understand what you're watching, if you can recognize the 1-2 hop, the angled feet, the gooseneck release, the low jump, the elbow alignment, then you're watching something rare. That's what sets Caitlin Clark apart. Not just the range or confidence, but the mechanics and the fine details that most people miss, yet make the difference between a good shooter and a truly great one.